Hey, this is Christian, and today I'm looking at Judges chapter 6, starting at verse 11. Then the angel of the Lord came and sat beneath the great tree of Ophrah, which belonged to the Joash of the clan of Abiezer. Gideon, son of Joash, was threshing wheat at the bottom of a wheat press to hide the grain from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, "Mighty hero, the Lord is with you." "Sir," Gideon replied, "if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us, and where are all the miracles our ancestors told us about? Didn't they say, 'The Lord brought us up out of Egypt'? But now the Lord has abandoned us and handed us over to the Midianites." Then the Lord turned to him and said, "Go with the strength you have and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I am sending you." So we pick up this story. The Israelites are just being plummeted by the Midianites. Every time they plant something, it gets burned. Every time they try to build something, it gets taken down. Like there's just nothing they can do. Which is why when we find Gideon in our story, he is actually trying to thresh wheat in the wine press because he's thinking, they're not going to look for me in here, so I'm probably safe, right? I think if we look at our lives, probably right up to the quarantine, a lot of us will find ourselves in the same place Gideon was. You kept praying, "God, I pray that this will happen. God, I hope this will happen. In Jesus' name, I'm speaking this." You said it 18 times and it didn't happen. You kept believing and planting and building and nothing was happening. And so what you ended up doing was hiding from the Midianites. A lot of you took a job because you needed one, you had to pay the bills, but now it's 6 years later and you're still working that job when you always really wanted to open a business. Or you really felt like God was asking you to do this, or you really wanted to do that. But after so many times just getting kicked down, knocked down, you just did what you had to do. You started threshing wine in the wine press. Now, at this point, the angel just shows up and sits down and looks at him and goes, "God is with you, you're mighty." One of the things I'm learning about myself during quarantine is trying to ask the right questions. So I feel like a lot of the questions I've been asking are, what happens next? God, what are we going to do? Like what happens next? What should I be doing? And I feel like the question really is, who do you say that I am? Because in this story, the angel comes up to Gideon and goes, "God's with you. This is who you are." And he goes, "If God is really with us, then why is all this stuff happening? If God is who he says he is, then why hasn't he already cured the coronavirus? If God has already said who he says he is, why can't we buy a home? Why can't I have a child? Why can't I do this, and this?" That's the same question we've been asking from the beginning. That's where the Satan showed up to Jesus and said, "If you're really who you say you are, then you can do such and such and such in the 40-day fast, after his 40-day fast." So if we're asking ourselves the right question, it's not really if he can, what happens next? It's who do you say that I am? One of my favorite parts of the story is Gideon is sitting there with this angel and just a stressed out, broken part of his life. And the angel shows up and says, "You are mighty. God is with you." And he goes, if he's really with us, then this wouldn't be happening. And I feel like in our own lives, or if you grew up in church, you're never supposed to question God. Like you're not supposed to do that, right? God doesn't even stress about this. He doesn't go, "You can't say that about me." He actually shows up himself. In the beginning of the story, Gideon is talking to the angel. Then in verse 14, it says, "Then the Lord turned to him and said," Gideon goes on this rant and goes, if you really who you say you are, then you should be able to do this. And God himself shows up and turns to him. He was able to move the God of heaven to turn to him. And here's what God said to him: "This is you who you are. I am with you." The answer was still the same. Who do you say that I am? Right now, if you're worried about what job comes next, where are you going to live? How is this going to happen? What is my healing coming? All of these things that we worry about and should, because they're real. Who do you say that I am? Because what I have said about you has not changed. I called you mighty, and I said I was with you. My answer's never changing. So who do you say that I am? Love you.